We are here today for the case of Chancey versus Floyd. I call to the stand Victoria Catherine Floyd.
Now, Miss Floyd, what is your side of the story?
There's the story, because I didn't steal nothing.
And what is your opinion of the story?
As I said before, I didn't steal nothing.
Then what do you plead?
Innocent?
Guilty.
Prove it.
Fine. Where were you on June 29th, 2020 at 9:36 p.m.?
I don't know, probably in bed and asleep.
Probably. So you're not sure. How can the jury be sure if you're not even sure of yourself?
Well, can you tell me where and exactly what you were doing 6 months ago?
I'm not asking the questions here. Now, can you prove that you did not steal Mrs. Chancey's clothing with the tag still attached?
I didn't even know the woman until she came to my house and asked me for the clothes back.
Did you return them when she asked?
Did you not hear what I said earlier? I didn't have them.
Do you have witnesses to prove that you did not have these?
No.
So again, we're just going on what you say, right?
Pretty much.
Well, I have material evidence that points to Miss Catherine Floyd that she did in fact steal the clothing. Now, how would these mysterious tags be in your possession if you did not prove them? Did they magically appear?
No.
Maybe. Your Honor, if you would look at the material evidence, you would find that in fact her fingerprints are indeed on these. And if you would again trace these, you would find that it's in the store where there were about 3 cameras to witness that Miss Chancey indeed bought these clothes. So I now rest my case as the defendant is guilty as charged. No doubt.
Guilty.
And then
Guilty.
guilty.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Arthur Jacobs.
Be seated. The court is now in session. We have been called here today to discuss the robbery of a garden gnome. I said sit, you imbeciles. Take this thing. This is more like it. First, we're going to hear the witness side of the story. You may begin.
It was midday at exactly 2:02 p.m. I was watering my daisies. Then I saw him, Bob Jones, kidnapping the garden gnome. Then I chased, caught, and hit him on the head with my cane.
How could you be so heartless as to steal?
And Miss Hatchet.
Mrs. Hackett.
Yes, sorry. My question is, how did you get across your yard with such speed? Well, no offense, but you seem to have a debilitation. Hence your cane. Would you care to get up in front of the court and demonstrate your running ability?
Well, I had my pills.
Doesn't that seem a bit too convenient? Mrs. Hatchet, is it possible that you are lying to
Are you accusing me of lying?
No!
Order in the court. Miss Hatchet, if you continue to threaten the people in this court with any violence, you shall be removed from this court. But your cane will stay with me.
No! Take me! But don't hurt Archie. It's okay.
Archie, certainly, of course. Anyway, Mr. Frederick, continue.
Sure. Anyway, Mrs. Hatchet, how did 13-year-old Bob pick up the garden gnome in the first place?
Why, with his arms, of course. How do you think he did it? With his toes?
No, I was just trying to comprehend how he lifted the 200-pound solid granite gnome in the first place. I'm beginning to believe, Mrs. Hatchet, that you are the culprit.
Okay, fine. I'll admit it. Archie did it.
Sure, it was Archie. I'll sentence you to a minimum of 5 years in the AMCOWWC, Asylum for Mentally Challenged Old Women with Canes.
But first, I have one more question. How did you take the 200-pound note?
I don't know. Archie didn't remember. Ask him.
Right, okay, make that a minimum of 10 years.
No! Ow. And who's hurt, Mom?
Jonathan Dent is suing James Dent over copyright violation. Both claim they invented the EDSD, or electronic dog shaving device. Jonathan has already been questioned and has turned in his blueprint of the EDSD. James is now on the witness stand and has been questioned by the defense attorney.
Mr. Dent, do you have your blueprint of the EDSD?
Yes, I do.
May I see it? I present this as Exhibit B. Now, Mr. Dent, in your own words, describe the EDSD to the jury.
I designed the EDSD with my dog Gabe in mind. First, you use the clamps to bolt the dog to the floor. The process has a slight tendency to scare most dogs, but if they're brave enough, they'll usually gnaw at the clamps. And if this is the case, they'll get a classified amount of voltage shot into their body. Now, you bolt your dog to the floor. They usually don't suspect anything until you have one paw successfully clamped to the floor. But once she notices, it is recommended to step back for several seconds while the dog tries chewing at the clamps. Now, the EDSD's electronic robot actually shaves the dog. To manipulate the robot, you take its data chip and insert it into your computer. Now, you can use the mouse to control the robot's movements. Shave the dog. While the dog is being shaved, her hair goes into vacuum tubes on the robot's arms. It's quite fun. Most important of all, make sure to leave the dog clamped overnight because she will most likely be foaming at the mouth and gnashing his or her teeth. Oh, the robot also kills fleas.
Your description is very similar to Jonathan's. Did you copy his prototype?
So,
Did?
I'm sorry to interrupt. Kid, get over here.
Members of the jury, the prototype's copies are exactly the same. Mr. Dent, please write a sentence summary of what the EDSD is. James's handwriting is not matched handwriting on the blueprints. No more questions.
James, you may step down. This court will now have a short recess before the jury makes its verdict.